Audition season for 2025 is in full swing, and we are getting into the recall stages, we are getting into final round stages, which means that redirection is going to be a big factor. Now, some actors love redirection and others fear it and hate it and avoid it, but whatever camp you fall into, redirection is a huge deal because it tells the audition panel so much about you, about your ability, and about your suitability to train at that very moment. And because redirection is so useful for the audition panel, you need to be ready, because it will happen. I mean, I do not know of any drama school recall that does not include some element of redirection in it. In a nutshell, your recall will go something like this. You will present your audition material, the stuff that you did in your self-tape, your first iteration. You will present that to the panel as you have been doing, because they want to see that you've maintained the work from self-tape to recall stage. Then they will start giving you notes. And these are not notes to say you have been doing your speech wrong this whole time and now we're going to try and correct you. No, no, no. Redirection notes are purely to see if you can shift. So it's thoughts and ideas and notes that they're coming up with on the fly, right there and then, in accordance with what you are doing already. Now, most of the time, they will concentrate on one speech to redirect. Not always, sometimes they'll do both. And there's no set formula or rhyme or reason to this, it's just what they want to do on the day. So they might concentrate on your classical, they might concentrate on your contemporary, who the heck knows? But the key is to prepare both. Then they will start redirecting you. And that can be an in-context note, a bold opposite redirect, or a vague redirect. Context notes are notes that they will feed you that you would realistically get in a rehearsal room. So say you're doing a speech from Romeo and Juliet, they will give you notes as if you are rehearsing the full production of Romeo and Juliet. These notes tend to be more detailed, more nuanced, and to do with the relationships that you have with the person that you are speaking to, with the environment and the situation that you are developing that makes sense with this speech. And these notes are given to see if you can shift in a small way, in a detailed way, so that you're not hammering the audition panel over the head with the notes, that you are able to deepen your process and your practice with a small note that they are giving you. With in-context notes, you need to concentrate on the subtlety of it. Then there is bold opposite redirect. Now, these tend to be the most fun, in my opinion. If you hate redirection, you'd probably rather tear out your own fingernails. That's okay. So with this kind of redirect, you are going to be taking the context and the performance that you have developed in your self-tape rounds and what you've been doing with this speech. You're going to take it and you are going to throw it away. Goodbye. Because the note that they will give you is going to be so far away from your pre-existing context that it just won't make sense. So again, if you were doing a Romeo and Juliet speech and it's all about, I love you and we should run away together even though our families are at war. That's the context. They might get you to do something completely different. Like, imagine that you are slaying a dragon. I don't know, they ask you to do some really bizarre stuff in redirection. It's very fun though. So that requires you to go, oh, okay, so I'm not speaking to somebody who is my lover and, you know, declaring my love for them. I'm slaying a dragon. All I'm doing is using this text to convey this new context. And these kinds of notes are given to gauge whether you are able to throw yourself into something fun 100%, whether you're able to be committed and bold and creative. They want to see how brave you are and whether you're up for just imagining your speech in a wholly different way. And it's also up to you to justify the text, the actual words and the thoughts that you're saying in a completely different way. And that can be really, really fun to do. Then you get vague redirection. Now this tends to be a little bit rarer, but you do get it from time to time. I was working with a coaching client that said that she went to a very, very prominent school that gave her a redirection that was, so you're doing white wine at the moment? Now let's do red wine. Basically, vague redirection is for you to decipher what the note actually is, and it's up for interpretation. So they want to see how your creative mind ticks, and then they want to see you carry it out without hesitating, without apologizing, without thinking that you're going to get it wrong. Because the whole definition of vague redirection is that it's vague. There is no right and wrong. They want to see if you need lots of reassurance and guidance and whether you need your hand held through some redirection or whether you're actually able to go, okay, cool, let's figure this one out. What does red wine mean to me? Oh, well, it could mean this and it could mean that. Okay, I've got a vague idea of what I'm going to do. Let's just play. Let's just see. Let's just find out. Again, they want to see if you can be bold and creative and throw yourself into some kind of exploratory place, because that's what you're going to be doing for 3 years at drama school. Now, vague redirection, along with all of the other redirections, are not there to catch you out. They are not tests. They are given to you so that the audition panel can see how your creative brain ticks. They get an insight into your process, into how you take notes, how you deal with pressure, and whether you like creating and seeing your speech from a different perspective, or whether you are just attached and held and imprisoned by your first iteration. Now, you can never preempt what note they're actually going to give on the day because they come up with it in the moment. So how can you get better at redirection? Well, like anything, you need to practice. So think about it like the exams that you sat when you were at school. You could never anticipate what the exam question was going to be, but you could do a ton of past papers and lots of practice and mock exams, and that at least got you limber and able to actually take on a question and write an essay for it. Redirection works very much the same way, so you need to practice. So my advice is to give yourself some redirection notes. Get used to playing your speech in boldly different ways. Or better still, my coaching books are open. So if you want to spend an hour turning your speech upside down and practicing some redirection, then all of the details for how to get in touch with me and how to work with me are below. And another way to practice redirection, if you were really stumped with what notes to give yourself, you can download my redirection prompt list. It's got 30 different redirection prompts in there. That will give you a real jump start on where you can go creatively with your speeches to take them out of context, to deepen the context and deepen your notes so that you are fully prepared for those auditions when they come around. So that's what you can do in advance. So when you get into the audition room, what can you actually do to carry out that redirection in a really strong and committed way? Firstly, you need to fully listen to the note. You can't carry out a note if you haven't listened to it, digested it, and understood it. So take a second to really, really listen to the note as it is being given to you. You can even speak it back to them so that you know that you have full understanding of it. Then take a second before executing. Don't rush into it. Only start when you are ready. Now, please note that taking your time is different to hesitating. Commit to the note 100%. Audition panels want to see how much you are willing to invest in the note, or whether you are holding back and hesitating and only kind of giving half of the effort, that you're just trying to hide through your lack of commitment. The saying goes that if you stay in the middle of the road, you are going to get knocked down. It's kind of the same for redirection. You got to go all the way, go big or go home. And most importantly, be enthusiastic about the redirection. This is an opportunity to play, to explore, and to collaborate with your audition panel. These are probably going to be the people that will be teaching you for the next 3 years. They will be in your rehearsal rooms. They will be your directors. So you got to gauge whether you enjoy working together. And that goes both ways. So have fun with the note. Please remember, it is called a play for a reason. And even when you are in a high stakes situation, a really nerve-wracking situation like an audition, please do not lose sight of the fact that you like doing this stuff. And remember, it's not that serious. It's not that deep. It's make-believe. It's really not a big deal. So don't take yourself so seriously. Be silly, engage, commit, have fun with it. So there we go, a short and sweet video all about how you can engage with redirection for your recall stages. And again, if you want to get really, really good at your redirection, then all the details for working with me are below. But until then, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, send this to other actor folks that you know that have recalls coming up, share the knowledge and share the love. This is my tea. And until next time, bye.